What's up, tax savers? So today I want to talk about the best practices for receipt tracking and kind of walk you through a semi-real life example of how I track my receipts when I'm out at a business or on a business meal or trip or wherever I might be tracking that. So first and foremost, you want a cell phone, smartphone ideally, and then have some sort of receipt tracking software, receipt scanning software on your phone. Now, if you're on QuickBooks Online, it does it for you. It's part of the app that you download, which we strongly recommend getting on QuickBooks Online, by the way. There are other apps that do it. One is Receipt Bank, one is Expensify. Any app will do. But what you want to do is you always want to record it when your memory's fresh. So when you go out to a meal, you have that business meal, and we've talked about before, but you need 5 things on there. 3 of them are on the receipt. That's where it was, the date, and the amount of the expense. The other 2 aren't. That's who you met with and what was the business purpose. So what you want to do, say this is a receipt right here. Write down, I met with John Smith, and it was to discuss tax plans. Take your phone, open up the app, snap a picture, and that way it's scribbled on there fresh. You don't have to think what was that receipt for 10 months later or 4 years later when you get audited. And then the other thing you don't have to deal with is the shoebox. And the third thing you don't have to deal with is when you take that receipt, if you're like most business owners, you shove it in your pocket, then you forget about it, then it goes through the laundry 4 times, or it disappears 6 months later, then you've got a disappearing ink, empty receipt, and that doesn't do you any good. So that's best practices for receipts. Another aside is there's a rule that you don't have to use or keep a receipt for a transportation, meal, or entertainment expense that's under $75. Now that would include fuel. A lot of people like to get away with or try to get away with not doing that. Because it's so easy to just snap a picture of that receipt, we recommend that you do that for all receipts, even ones that are under $75. And the reason why is we had an auditor tell us that when you're going to the Quick Stop to fill up with gas, you say, well, it's a gas station, of course it's going to be for fuel. Well, the auditor says, how do I know you're not going in there and buying beer? So if you get a nice auditor, they're not going to grill you on that, but if you get a mean, nasty auditor that wants to see every little tick and tie detail, then they might throw out some of those gas receipts, even though it actually was gas. So best practice, take those pictures. It's so easy anyways, and then you can have the freedom of just tossing them and not having to worry about keeping those shoe boxes in your garage for 3 years. So we'll see you next time.